This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. In the latest episode of trying to keep up with Jake Loosemore's gear escapades, this is, I think, it's a 30th anniversary, and I've looked online, I think based on other guitars from this 30th anniversary thing, I have a feeling this is a 53 Telecaster, you know, custom shop built, limited edition. I think a 52, typically the custom shop, they call them no casters. It's got Telecaster on the top, so that's why I'm thinking it's 53. I'll update the video with some other facts if it's not that. Now, the hand-wired pickups in it, and I think it's got like 50 style wiring. Ash body, and a really chunky kind of U-shaped neck. I think it's got a 9.5 radius because it doesn't feel quite as extreme as a 7.25, but I think Fender also did some that are 7.25 to 9.5, so I'm not sure if it's a compound radius or not. A bit difficult to tell. But yeah, he traded this guitar for something, I can't remember exactly what. But yeah, really beautiful guitar. I think the heavy relic thing is definitely one of those things that either you kind of get on with it or you don't. I think actually it does end up looking quite good, but I know for some people it's the thing where you think, well, it kind of looks silly, but it does feel really good, especially this type of neck finish. So that's kind of the trade-off for me, is that if I'm playing a maple neck telly, which I've recently found, I find them really sticky generally, but on this type of finish, or not really their finish, as silly as it sometimes might look, and you know, where you've got your 11th and 12th fret which don't have any wear for some reason, I'm not exactly sure why, what you do get in that trade-off is a beautiful feeling neck under the hand to play in, that worn in feel, rolled fret edges that just feels really comfortable. And I guess that's kind of the thing that you hear people sometimes say, it's like, you know, buying a worn in pair of jeans or whatever. Of course, jeans are not quite as expensive as custom shop Fenders. But I think the highlight for me is the pickups. And I don't know if you can buy hand-wired pickups from Fender in general, but that might be something that I might be interested in, I think, because they do sound really good. And I think it, yeah, definitely has a lot of vibe to it. I'm enjoying playing it. It's a little bit heavier than my K-Line signature telly. Signature? It's not a signature. My K-Line Telecaster, the Truxton. This weighs about 7 pounds and 10 ounces according to the parcel scales downstairs. I think ash was supposed to be kind of a more premium, lighter wood, but I think Fender stopped using it as far as I remember, because, you know, it started getting heavy or expensive, and, you know, where you want that trade-off for it to be a bit lighter and a bit, yeah, whatever. That was, I think, the reason that they moved away from using ash in the middle of the 50s. But yeah, I really like the way it looks, the ash particularly. Yeah, it's really quite resonant as well. I'll give you some unplugged stuff. But also what I and Jake kind of agree on is that there's not really any style of music that can't be tackled on a Telecaster. And because of the thick neck, this actually has a little bit lower action than Jake's Strat does. I think that's one of the things that I like to do. So one of my parts caster tellies has a thinner neck, and for me what that means is that I then put on some slightly thicker strings and have the action a little bit higher. The trade-off I find is that when you've got a thicker neck, sometimes you can actually play with a bit of a lower action and it still feel quite comfortable in the hand. I think that for me has been the trade-off that I've tended to make. So it's got a really nice feel to it. I also kind of noticed that the pickups were really responding to kind of picking changes in a really nice way. I think, yeah, the Telecaster is a really simple design, but they are all actually quite variable, and I think it's worth playing a few to figure out what works for you, because maybe the massive neck on this might not work for you, maybe a skinny neck on a Telecaster might not work for you, but I think there probably is a Telecaster configuration out there for almost anyone that could be right. And I think it's such a simple design that, yeah, I don't know, I really like the Telecaster design. of course, this was actually as well the first, you know, mass-produced solid body guitar design as well, right? But yeah, I think sounds really good, plays really well. A very expensive guitar, but in this case, I feel like this one was worth it. Let me know your experience with the Fender Custom Shop as well, if you've got any. I think there are cheaper options out there, you know, maybe Nash guitars, maybe K-line guitars, build stuff like this. Even the Fender Road Worn series, the earlier Road Worn series, which look quite a lot like this, I think those might be worth a shout if you're into this type of guitar, because that neck would feel and look quite a lot like this. I don't think the Relican might not be quite as authentic, but I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the most tasteful relic job anyway. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments if you've got any. I've done quite a bit of playing on it over the last sort of 24 hours, and then wasn't necessarily sure I'd love it, but really do appreciate that, and it's kind of making me play a little bit differently, I feel. I was using the HX Stomp for all of that stuff, using the Eric Lead 2023 preset for cleans and the kind of lead tones. So yeah, it's got a little bit of weird kind of stain all over it, which I think they might have, it's kind of, you can see runoff here. That's like the most untidy part of the guitar, I'd suggest. I'll try and show you. But yeah, you can see quite aggressive relicking at the factory. But yeah, you can see quite aggressive relicking at the factory.